I will discuss about how to develop logic using C program. So for that purpose, we first understand the relational operator. Relational operators are useful to compare two quantities. That means there are two quantities are given to you, and you using the relational operator you compare that two quantities. For the example, if um, one age of a person like that 25, if you one age is given to you, then ask you that that person is eligible for vote or not. We already know that if any person age is greater than 18, then he or she is eligible for vote. Then how we use that relational operator to develop that logic? We see that like if 25 uh, age of a person, that means we take one x variable, that value to that variable, and then we write that if a greater than equal to 18, if 18 equal to or greater than, that means if condition is true, then we write that printf the that person, that means we write that person, we write that eligible for vote, eligible for vote. That is the simple logic. If like another example, if like that two numbers are given to you and check it is which of the which number is greatest number, then like that if 25 and 30 two numbers are given to you, then how do you check that the which number is greatest number? For that we first initialize the variable a, 25 to a variable a and 30 variable b, and then we check if a greater than b. If a greater than b, then we write that printf percentage d is greatest number, comma, that means a. And else if condition is false, then we write that printf percentage d is greatest number equal to b. So that is the process. Then how we develop the simple logic using the relational operator. Now we understand the logical operator. What is the logical operator? How they are used? That logical operators join two or more simple condition, it becomes a compound condition. Example are logical and, logical or logical not. That means logical operators are used for the purpose of to checking more than one condition. Then how we check that? Like one example, if 1 year is given to you, then check ask you for checking that year is leap year or not. Then how you check that? That means we already know that the 1 year is leap year if year is the century year. If the year is century year, then we divide that year using the 400. Otherwise we divide that year using the 4, simple 4. So if we write that condition like that, if year is like 2000, if year is 2000, then we write that condition that if year modulo 100, we use the modulo operator because we if you that equal, that means that is the also a relational operator. Equal, that means left hand side and right hand side if same, like 2000 modulo 100. If you modulo operator, if you use that, then it gives the 0. That means that condition is true. That means that year is century year. Century year means, that means the year is if modulo with the 100, then it gives the 0. That means after we understand the century year, it is the century year, then we have to check that if that year is divided into 400, that means we use the logical AND operator. That condition is true, then another condition must be true, like year modulo 400 equal to 0. If that condition is true, total condition is true, then we conclude that it is the leap year. Suppose another year like that 1992, that means the year, if that year is not century year, then how we develop? That means there is another condition, that year modulo 100 equal to, if not equal to 0, not equal to 0, and year modulo 400, then we conclude that that year is leap year. That means there are two conditions. One is the condition if the year is century year, then the year is modulo 400. Then if two condition is true, then the year is leap year. If another condition, if it is not century year, like that year, it is not a century year, then you must check with that year using the 4. But the thing is that if here there are two conditions, and for that two condition we use the logical AND. Logical AND where we used, when the multiple condition, we check the multiple condition and those condition must be true, then only the total condition is true. That means total condition is depend on the two condition. If total condition is true, that means two condition are true. For that purpose we use the logical AND. If we use the logical OR, then how we use that? Then like that year modulo 100 equal to 0, and year modulo 400 equal to 0, or use that or year modulo 4 equal to 0. If that means either that condition is true or that condition is true, then the year is leap year. We combine the two condition. How we combine that? First we check the year is century year or not. For that purpose we use that condition, and after then we use the logical AND. Why? Because the two condition, if it's true, then only it is the leap year. Suppose that condition is false. If that condition is false, then that the compiler does not check that condition, because if we use the logical AND. Logical AND means if one condition is false, like that logical AND, how? That means 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. If we use the logical AND, then that is x and y. If you use x logical and y, then if the condition all the 0 and only condition is true for 1, when two condition is true, that means if one condition is false, if that condition is false, then it does not check that condition, because if any one condition is false, then it returns the false. That means we does not worried about it. That means if you use the logical AND operator, then compiler, if one condition is false, then compiler does not check the second condition. Then condition, when that condition is false, then it check the Next condition, that means we use the logic.